Good evening, everybody. My name is Raj, and I'm connecting to you all from Gurgaon. And welcome to this, welcome to this special session, जो हम न्यूट्रीलिव बैच में करते हैं every Monday and every Friday. And today you all are very very fortunate because आज जो टॉपिक आप सुनने वाले हैं, आज आप जिन लोगों को सुनने, जिन दो गेस्ट को सुनने वाले हैं, दैट इज रियली गोइंग टू मेक अ बिग बिग डिफरेंस टू योर हेल्थ एंड टू योर फैमिलीज हेल्थ. I'll just give you the background about our mentor and our main speaker. हमारे जो मेंटोर हैं, जो इस पूरे प्रोग्राम को जो रन कर रहे हैं, ही कम्स फ्रॉम अ डिफेंस बैकग्राउंड. He is a retired naval officer. He has a very very vast sporting career. ये 3 बार ओलंपियन रह चुके हैं, ये अर्जुन अवार्ड विनर हैं, ये एशियन गेम्स मेडलिस्ट हैं. इस सेशन में जो मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है आप किसको सुन रहे हो, बिकॉज इन टुडेज एनवायरनमेंट देर इज अ लॉट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन दैट इज फ्लोटिंग अराउंड अस. सो हेंस इट बिकम्स ऑल द मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट कि हम किसको सुन रहे हैं. और जो आज आप हमारे मेन स्पीकर को सुनोगे, शी कम्स फ्रॉम अ कॉर्पोरेट बैकग्राउंड. शी वाज अ आईटी प्रोफेशनल. एंड आई मीन हेल्थ का कोई डेफिनेशन नहीं था उसके पहले. लेकिन इस प्रोग्राम में आने के बाद में यू विल लर्न फ्रॉम हर दैट हाउ ब्यूटिफुली नॉट ओनली शी इज टेकन चार्ज ऑफ हर हेल्थ, in fact she is helping so many other professionals to take charge of their health. So not taking much of the time, let me invite our mentor, our coach, Farooq. So Farooq, over to you.
Thank you, Raj, and good evening, everyone. I hope you're all excited to attend this Friday session. You had your early dinner, done some exercise. And I've often said this again and again on this platform, that if there is one thing that you must not do, okay, which damages health more than anything else, is eat a late night dinner and then go to sleep. Now, just try and understand where we come from. 100 years ago, it was absolutely predictable that most people would have had their dinner by 6 o'clock. Then gradually, as time passed by, and there was this change from, living in the villages to urbanization, and people didn't even realize that when that 6 became 7, when the 7 became 8, when the 8 became 9, when the 9 became 10, and then the next generation now feels quite okay to eat at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. With Zomato, Swiggy available at any time of the night, it is bound to go even further. Hence, it's critical to understand that, look, just because something is available, that does not mean that, you should have it. And the new generation doesn't think that there's anything wrong. I mean, what's a big deal eating palm omelette at 3 o'clock in the morning or 2:30 in the morning? They're going to wake up they think that it's okay. They've adjusted their clock, but they don't realize what the value of the circadian rhythm is. And today you all are very fortunate because you're going to be, hearing from someone who was in the, at a very high-end job in a corporate sector, a lot of stress. And this was a normal thing for them, work late at night, order a pizza, order some fast food and feel good about yourself. Till the time she realized and made a strong decision that she needs to do something, to change the way where she was headed. The health was really going for a toss. Once she understood that, and the amazing transformation journey that she's made, is unbelievable if you look at her before and after pictures. So you're very lucky to be hearing from somebody, who's been on the other end of the scale and now, is sort of realize the importance of circadian rhythm and, when to have the dinner, and realizing, having tried both the things, realize which is more valuable. So over to you, Veda.
Thank you, Farooq, and thank you, Raj. Well, yes, I used to eat at any time. I used to eat anything that anyone else cooked because it was more convenient. And this is what I told myself that, okay, what mattered was, growing up the corporate ladder. Let's just focus on work. Paisa to chahiye. But in the whole journey, obviously, never really thought key timing of food. See, we were always aware that okay, quality bhi nahi, but then what type of food is good? We knew that pizza is a fast food and all, but I never ever knew that what time you ate also makes a difference, and the reasons behind it actually क्या होता है? I didn't even know कि okay, Farooq actually talked about pizza and everything. I mean, we used to eat anything. In fact, the burji pav, whatever, chow mein people say, and whatever is available, we would eat. Ice creams in the night and all. But only, when I got into this program that I understood that even if you're eating a nice wholesome salad at 1 a.m., it's no. You know, today we'll discuss why, and I'm hoping that even if you're not able to make 100% change, but if you can make 20, 10, 15, 30% change one at a time. And that's what I did because we know that we have certain barriers. But Farooq always said that if you make a decision, that's when you can actually start taking those small actions towards correction. And trust me, if I didn't today as well, it's still a journey because we have tortured our system so much. It will take a longer time to reverse, especially if you're not really doing everything, right? So, okay, let's see what is circadian rhythm and why it matters. So, yeah, when you eat matters the most in a healthy, not just weight, for everything, but weight specifically, you'll understand better today. And of course, if you can manage your weight and you balance the type of foods, you would have then achieved the right nutrition as well. Okay. So what are you seeing here? It is your day night clock, 12 baje raat ko till 12 baje raat. Okay? The whole 24 hours. The first, what are we seeing is the key, body के क्या parameters रहते हैं. आपको कभी पता है कि like deepest sleep is at 2 a.m. in the night. And as Farooq said, this generation has started to just sleep at probably 2 a.m. If you don't sleep by 10:30, 11, your body it's impossible for the body to actually go into that deep sleep at 2 a.m. You agree? Because you're just going to be in that, semi sleep state or whatever. You're also, your body is at the lowest temperature because आपका body एकदम rested है. It will have, in fact, during the night, if you see the body's blood pressure is also a little lower. But in the morning, 6 a.m. onwards, you will see a sudden increase in blood pressure when your, cortisol is secreted. Cortisol is your stress hormone. It's not about stress, but mainly to get your body jumping back into action. That's when it kicks in. Your bowel movements, this is the ideal time. This is the ideal time when your large intestines are actually doing its, what do you say, the function to emptying the bowels. Melatonin secretion stops. That's when your sleep hormone, melatonin is your sleep hormone. I'll show you in the next slide. That stops. Your testosterone secretion, is highest as at 9. Alertness during this period in the morning hours is, see, it is related to when there is light. Okay, so our body clock is aligned to the day night clock. And मैं हमेशा बोलती हूँ कि in India, you know, most of India, in fact 95% probably, we are very blessed to have a normal day night cycle जहाँ पे हमें around 10 से 12 घंटा धूप मिलती है, right? Where we see sunlight, because that's how our body clock is aligned. Fastest reaction time is around in the afternoon time because आपने दो खाना भी खाया है, your body gets the energy, your food is getting processed, your brain gets, the signals right. so that your cognitive functions are better in the afternoon. Best muscle strength, highest blood pressure is around 630 क्योंकि आपने बहुत सारा काम किया है सुबह से शाम तक, right? Highest temperature. So आपको कभी कभी ऐसे लगता है कि शाम को थोड़ा बॉडी गर्म लग रहा है. Now you will see, that your body's temperature through the day jab aap so this is how our body clock is aligned to the day-night clock, to the Earth's clock. So circadian rhythms are periodic bodily, your physiological plus mental and behavioral changes that follow a 24-hour clock. अभी ये देखते हैं ये the hormones, हमारे बॉडी में बहुत सारे hormones secrete होते हैं, but the ones that are related to the food processing, okay, because we're talking about health, we're talking about food, when to eat, right? So related to food processing, कौन से hormones है and why that matter, okay? Now the first one that you see here is melatonin. Sorry, you're seeing the, okay, two I just clicked. One is melatonin, which I just talked. It regulates your sleep-wake cycles. Matlab, it is secreted in the evening half. In fact, post 10 p.m. onwards. Now, if you don't sleep or आपके lights on है, आपका blue screen चालू है, your mobiles that's our best friend nowadays. If that is on, मेलेटोनिन सेक्रीशन विल नॉट स्टार्ट और आपको ऐसे लगेगा कि आप खेलते खेलते आप नींद अच्छी आ रही है बट यू विल नॉट गेट अ डीप स्लीप और अ प्रॉपर स्लीप योर स्लीप विल बी वेरी डिस्टर्ब थ्रू द नाइट ओके सो इट्स वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू हैव a dark environment for sleep and then during later half now if you don't sleep on time you are delaying everything. So your growth hormone, which is your FGF21, this also will not get triggered at the right time if you have not rested already for some time. Okay. And this is very, very, it's also responsible, the growth hormone is also responsible for your regulating your carbs and lipid metabolism. So jo bhi, under hai, which is already digested, not what you're eating at 1 a.m. Why 1 a.m. to a.m. जो खाना खा रहे हैं वो क्यों digest ये use नहीं होता, you'll know a little bit later. Now you see this, the cortisol that I was talking about, stress hormone, regulates your BP, suppresses inflammation, increases and regulates your blood sugar, controls your sleep-wake cycle. It's basically telling you, bhai abhi uth jao, you're supposed to be working, you're supposed to move your body. Abhi ghrelin is your hunger hormone and see how beautifully it has been made to be secreted thrice. हम खाते कितने बार है? Probably, at least 5 times. 3 बार breakfast, lunch, dinner plus snack at 11 and then snack in चाय के साथ और एक शाम को चाहिए. कभी कभार लेट सो गए तो और थोड़ा सा munching कर लेते हैं, right? But actually it is secreted only 3 times. This is your hunger hormone. When between 8 to 9:30, इसीलिए बोलते हैं कि try and have your breakfast by 9 a.m. so that it gets digested. That's when your ghrelin is there. Then between 12:30 to 2, and then you can see here between 5 to 7. And hence we say try and have your dinner by 7 p.m. That's by sunset. Usually हमारे यहाँ पे sunset हो जाती है 7 बजे तक, right? So try and have it. Try and follow a 7 to 7 cycle. 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. नहीं होता है तो probably 8 a.m. but till 7, max 8 p.m. 7 to 8 is ideally, that's not ideally, no, but it is still better than eating at 10:30 or 11, right? So try to finish that. Now your adiponectin, which is, okay, before that, insulin. Abhi ye dekho. Now insulin regulates blood sugar levels. It moves your glucose from blood to cell. आपका digestion जब होता है, your insulin is, what it does, blood is getting in the blood, you have your sugar, glucose is there, right? From glucose, insulin is responsible to get it to the cell to give you what? Energy. But when you eat later, insulin is not there, your glucose doesn't get transmitted, and then hence it gets deposited as fats. Okay. Protein hormone, adiponectin is your protein hormone, regulates glucose levels. Again, all of this is mainly during your daytime. हम अगर बाद में खाएंगे, ghrelin is actually your body is not hungry. It is just your mind, tricking you. Insulin is not generated. Everything that you eat, anything and everything that you eat after 7 p.m. is not going to get digested. It is, and you're not, since it's not going to get digested, it's going to be converted as your fats and just staying there. Okay. Your leptin regulates hunger and food intake, and it regulates it gives you a feeling of satiety so that you don't eat later on. So if you are telling yourself कि नहीं मुझे भूख लग रही है, try and drink a glass of water rather than eating food. Okay, because our body doesn't differentiate basically between hunger का जो feeling है, brain को नहीं पता है कि आपको actually food चाहिए कि पानी चाहिए. If you eat on time as per these circadian rhythm thrice only thrice. If you do that, of course, and in a balanced way, you will, and you also sleep, okay? Your sleep wake cycles are also aligned. You will have a balanced body as well. You will not, it will not lead you into obesity, into depression, fatty liver, all of these issues. If you start looking at your lifestyle, not just the food that you eat, not just the exercise, all of it together, plus your sleep wake cycles, all of it together, that's when you will see that all of these issues will also not happen. Okay. Inflammation, diabetes, yes, it is all due to our misaligned fasting, feeding, sleep wake cycles. So, putting it all together and summarizing, our body is made of for eating during daytime. तो अगर आप रात को खा रहे हो, please at least be aware. जब next day आपको अगर say you're getting uneasiness या आपको nausea आ रहा है या gas हो रहा है या acid reflux हो रहा है, आपको bloating feel हो रहा है, for sure you've eaten late. For sure. Okay. And it could also be कि आपने, even if you've eaten at 7 p.m. और अगर आपने pizza, pasta भर भर के खाया, obviously it's not going to get digested. So it is a combination of what you're eating as well as when you're eating. But when you're eating is very, very important for many, many more reasons, not just your calories. ठीक है? Our body is sensitive to insulin. We just spoke about that. Our resistance to insulin is highest at night. Matlab, you're not active. When you're not active, insulin cannot really play that part of moving the glucose into the cell. So there is resistance from the cell, right? Because your body is thinking it is resting. As a result, the calories that we consume get deposited post evening as fat, and this is what we all do. Because we all stay, we work late, we are on calls. Even if we are working from home, we are on calls the whole time. There are, many people, of course, go to office, they are traveling, come back late. What's the solution? Farooq challenged us many times. The solution hai, nowadays you get food everywhere. You can choose the right food also. Can you choose to have, just as many times we choose to have our lunches at office, choose to have your dinner by 7 p.m. in office and then come home. Many times as, spouses, we are concerned probably for our partners कि अरे at least एक time तो खाना खाना चाहिए अच्छे से भर पेट भर के रात को. No, ladies, or if there is a male partner who's doing that for his wife, no, we are actually harming the spouse even more. Allow the person to actually finish their food by 7 p.m. in office. But of course, the right kind of food. So we should plan to have between the 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Never skip breakfast. You saw ghrelin gets secreted pehle at 7:30, around 7:38. It's expecting food, right? If you don't give food, what happens? What happens? आप जब रात को सो रहे हो, you're at low blood pressure. Your metabolism is low. You need food to kick off the metabolism. You need food to, supplement the micronutrients or macronutrients that have been depleted during the repair phase जब रात को हम सो रहे हैं. ठीक है? So it will lead you to lower blood pressure, lower blood sugar as well. The variation in insulin, triglycerides, will be on the higher side. Okay, all of that. Second thing, again, don't skip lunch. If you ask me, between the two, breakfast is the most important, but do also have a your lunch, because you have your whole day to work. You need energy, so you don't get weaker. Your breakfast needs to be the heaviest in terms of calorie, and of course not empty calories, but the right kind of calories. Lunch slightly lesser is fine. Of course, we are used to having a very wholesome lunch, single carb, and have a good lunch. Go light for dinner by 7 o'clock. 7:30, 8 maximum. Okay. Go for a light dinner. Since our body is most insulin resistant, जो हमने बात किया, avoid carbs late night. जब आप dinner खाते हो, and especially, there was a very nice discussion yesterday or day before, where Farooq said, when you're looking for weight loss, there have been cases where folks have avoided carbs. And it reminded me of what I used to do to have my calorie, under control. Now that I knew all of this at that point of time, we had information about calories and all. And when I used to not have my chapati in the night, but mind you, not having a chapati, I used to have do bowls of sabzi, I used to have dal, salads, all of that. तो ऐसा नहीं कि मैं भूखे पेट सोती थी, but I found that I didn't need to have a roti. And when I did that, I felt much lighter the next morning. You would see a better weight control the next day. Why? Because carbs, it gives you instant energy, but it takes longer for digestion. You don't want that in the night, because if it does not get digested, even your complex proteins, okay, or rather undigestible, and complex proteins is incorrect, but protein that is not the body can't absorb or digest easily, it may not be useful, that useful in the night, because if the body cannot digest and absorb that protein, is just going to throw it out. So it needs to be a nice mix of protein plus your salads. Lentils is great, you can have that. Okay. So are you drunk enough? Now that is all about food, and with circadian cycle, of course a little bit of sleep also we spoke about. We may cover sleep sometime later, or it may have already been covered. But if you have any question about sleep, please speak to the person who has invited you for this session. If you're on the group, feel free to ask. Farooq is there to answer. Raj is there, Anita. Everyone is there to actually help you get your sleep cycle in a better form. Okay. So are you drunk enough? Because though food is important, water is absolutely and as much important. Why? हमारी body ही 70% water है, right? It is like, you can see here, when at birth it is 78%, 65%, and then in adults between 55 to 60%. And imagine each of the organs also has a huge amount, vital organs we are talking about, has a huge percentage of water. और अगर हम पानी नहीं पिएंगे तो what happens? Okay, what happens? Let me go to what happens. Okay, if you're dehydrated, the symptoms while dehydrated are what? Fatigue, tiredness. Yes, it could be something else also, but the first thing that you can try and do is have water. Irritability, irritation, actually headaches, rapid, you will feel that you're having an arrhythmia, but it's actually water probably. Muscle cramps, your muscles need water, especially when you are, say, you're going for a walk, when you're exercising. Of course, you need to stretch and all, but water intake before and after is very, very important. You'll get a heat stroke. You'll get your eye twitching. That is also dehydration. You will, drunken and dry and sunken eyes. You'll be, rubbing your eyes, etc. If you are completely hydrated, why do you need water? You need it for moistening your eyes from top to bottom. You need it for your nerves. Okay. You need water so that your body and the organs can actually absorb the nutrients well, protecting organs and tissues, like all your organs, because we saw it is most of it is water, right? It is also required to flush the waste products. There are many times when many people with kidney issues and all are suggested not to drink too much water. think about it. What is the reason for that? Is there an alternative, etc.? Right? It prevents constipation. No brainer. Of course, you need fiber as well. Sif pani bhi, if you're already having chronic constipation, sif pani pee ke, it's not going to help you, but it will prevent constipation. Okay, lubricating the joints, it will help that. Supporting cell growth and reproduction. सो इन एवरीथिंग पानी का रिक्वायरमेंट है, बट इसका ये भी मतलब नहीं है कि आप रोज 5 से 10 लीटर पानी पियो, राइट? एनीथिंग इन एक्सेस, एनीथिंग इन जीरो और नेगेटिव is harmful, right? So a hydrated cell कैसे रहता है? It is balanced. You will have an pressure which is inside your cell will be greater than outside, and hence it will be balanced. Dehydrated cell, you from outside the organs, everything, all cells will be packed. You will, it's almost, sucking everything out of your body, right? And it's not just water, not having water that dehydrates you, even having caffeine, chai, coffee, all of the aerated drinks, alcohol, these things dehydrate us maximum. So if you're having a cup of coffee, for example, you'll need double the water to actually reverse the dehydration that happens. Again, what I was talking about, our body cannot differentiate between hunger for food versus thirst. Okay, basically our brain cannot, hypothalamus, right? So the cues that we get from our brain are going to be the same. So if you're feeling hungry apart from the 3 times, that is breakfast, lunch, dinner, drink water. It could be because you are dehydrated. Okay, it causes confusion. Dehydration also signals hunger. Brain signals overlapping. We just talked about that. Modern lifestyle, constant snacking and drinking habits can blur the lines of hunger and thirst. What are the consequences? Overeating. Instead of really drinking water, you start eating more. Weight gain, obviously. Hydration issues. You're eating, but that's not helping you with water. Simple water. What's the best form of hydrating? How do you hydrate? Drink water. So when you're feeling hungry, अगर आपको ऐसे लग रहा है कि नहीं मुझे भूख लगी है, पहले पानी पियो. Second, पानी पियो. फिर भी अगर नहीं, even though here it is saying mindful eating, snacking is please avoid. Still, if you're hungry, take the protein that we recommend, the all plant protein. Take a scoop of that in 250 ml of water, mix it thoroughly and drink that. Now, how do you know whether you're having enough water? Okay, approximately what they say, around adult man should have 32 to 58 ml per kg body. Adult woman should have 27. I would, say apart from this, just because someone says ki आपको 2 to 3 liter पानी पीना है दिन में as per your weight, you listen to your body. Have 2 liters, have probably for a few days, listen to your body. What's the other easiest way is this. Monitor or look at your urine color. अगर आपका urine color एकदम ही white है, there is absolutely no color, that means you're overhydrated, which is also not good, क्योंकि जब वो flush out करता है, it will not just flush out all the toxics, it will also flush out your micronutrients जो आपको नहीं flush out करना है, right? So it needs to be a balance, and hence I was saying 4-5 liter मत पियो, unless of course you're in the sun the whole day and you're, I don't know what kind of jobs you may be having, what kind of work or situations you may be in. So you have to listen to your body. Immediately your urine color, if it's going beyond, pale yellow, it will tell you that you're dehydrated. A lot of women, especially, even men, I'm sure, because you don't have access to, say, for example, this thing, for when you don't have access to a washroom, what happens? We resist drinking water because abhi pata nahi kahan washroom aayega, and that creates dehydration. And it becomes too much. We end up into UTIs, and it becomes very painful, and reversing that becomes painful. In the long term, your urinary tract also can get infected and damaged. You can also have kidney stones if you don't have water. Okay. Unhealthy options for, I think it's a no-brainer, but बताने की जरूरत है, क्योंकि आज भी लोगों को ऐसे लगता है कि अगर मैंने say Sprite pee liya, तो I have hydrated myself. No, no alcohols, no sugary drinks, no artificial juices, aerated drinks. It's only going to add calories. It is only going to dehydrate you. What you need to have is plain pure water, of course, filtered water. You can have, if you some of us want some taste, you can infuse it with just one type of a vegetable or a fruit. You can just infuse it so that you get that flavor. Coconut water is best. It hydrates, it gives you the minerals also that are there in coconut water. It's the best when you are having a viral fever. If you just have coconut water, even when you are having loose motions, etc., it helps you keep your hydration level high. Healthy juices. Usually, I would say a smoothie is great rather than having a juice, because then you can retain the fiber as well, right? Hydration and hormonal balance. Now, there is a connection even with your hormonal balance, not just to keep you hydrated. It ensures that your hormones are also triggered at the right time. Okay, there's a balance, and even in your amounts. So, demonstrated that hydration influences hormone balance and detoxification processes, which are closely linked to your circadian rhythm, right? It also impacts your sleep quality. If you're dehydrated, you'll not have a good sleep. If you're overhydrated, you will be again your sleep cycle will be broken. You'll be constantly running to the washroom. Now, of course, with age, as we age, you will find oneself actually going to the washroom. But if you're going to go to the washroom 2, 3 times, then definitely you're overhydrated, right? So, rehydration and sleep quality. So, different studies have been done on this subject. So it is important कि आप पानी पियो before sleeping, but not too much water, because you need to have a good sleep also, right? So what are the 5 key takeaways for especially hydration? Start your day. In fact, the first thing that you wake up in the morning, before having anything, have a glass of water. A glass, 2 glasses are also fine. If you want, you can infuse it with, ajwain or jeera or sauf or adrak, anything. Okay, if you and that will help you in your gut health also. But plain water is enough. If you don't even have any fancy stuff, it's enough. Maintain regular intake of water. Okay, yes, this is very, very important. Just because now we have heard that, okay, पानी बहुत जरूरी है, उसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि suddenly मुझे याद आया तभी, जाओ and then fetch water and then drink the whole bottle. No, because that's not going to help you. You've already done the damage, right? So you need to have water, near you, carry a water bottle or have a bottle in every room, so that as soon as you see a bottle, take a sip, take 2 sips. So you need to sip, you need to eat your water, the last bit, eat your water. Don't just have a huge amount. Timing, 30 minutes before meal and not within 1 hour after meal, so that your digestion is proper. If you have it just before your meal, you will not be able to have the food properly. अगर आपने खाना ठीक से नहीं खाया तो आपको snacks, you will feel like snacking, right? Then avoid sugary drinks and alcohol, because that dehydrates. It is adding calories, it also dehydrates. So that's the summation. I hope both of these topics actually helped. Again, as I said, we understand कि practically सब कुछ शायद नहीं possible है, but you can find ways, and we have found ways to actually overcome the busy whatever calls ho या meetings ho. You can find ways. You can probably be prepared. You'll need to probably have take some efforts over the weekend to get everything set up or something like that, but it can be done. And finally, we believe in shine, keep shining. Start every day with gratitude and optimism. Every day is a new day. I'm always thankful to be having another day in my life, and absolutely thankful to be part of this association and learning something new. I never, ever, ever, ever in my 43 years or 44 years करती हूँ. I'm now, no, 45 years, I'm 48 now. मैंने कभी सोचा नहीं था कि मैं सर्काडियन रिदम या खाना या वाटर के बारे में बात करूंगी. But I'm so thankful. Ki thank God, at least I got exposed to this at the age of 43 and not later. I can still take some corrective actions. Have your nutrition, not just a balanced plate. Yes, the right calories, etc., is important, but nutrition is completely different. Have it, visualize your health goals, and set a goal, short-term goal, long-term goal, learn something new. I always learn something new whenever I attend these sessions or present, because I'm revising and I'm listening to Farooq. And trust me, even if you've attended 10 circadian rhythm sessions, come again and come for the next one, because you're going to get something new. Exercise daily. This is something I am still getting used to. You don't need to love things. I think Farooq says this very nicely. Ki, karna hai to karna hai, otherwise you're going to suffer. So let's do all of this. And that's it from my side. Back to you, Raj.
Thank you very much, Veda. And all this information coming from you adds a lot of value to the whole thing, because I know how busy you used to be and how you're using this whole philosophy now to add value to your health and to your family's health. Thanks, Farooq, for those valuable input. Uh, आजकल आप कहीं भी उठा के देख लीजिए, people are falling sick, and when you put these principles in their life, you very clearly understand that what is the missing element. And one great thing about this whole program is जो फरूक का मिशन है, हर घर तंदुरुस्त, हर घर मेडिसिन फ्री. The whole mission is to add life, add value to your life. I mean, लाइफ स्पैन बढ़ रहा है, बट क्या हमारा हेल्थ स्पैन उसको मैच कर रहा है? So in case we have any questions, we can take, if time permits, and one or two questions, or else we'll call it a day. And thank you very much for all those insight. And see you again on Monday, because Monday we are going to discuss another very, very important subject, obesity and its consequence. And next Friday we will be discussing another very important subject. इस प्रोग्राम का जो सबसे अच्छी बात है, ये आपके हैबिट्स को चेंज करता है, ये आपके हैबिट्स में वैल्यू एडिशन कर रहा है, और जब हैबिट्स अपनी जगह पे आ जाते हैं, दिस इज अ प्रोग्राम दैट वी कैन कैरी फॉर द रेस्ट ऑफ द लाइफ. एंड हेंस यू कैन बी इंश्योर्ड कि आप एक अच्छी लाइफ स्पैन के साथ एक अच्छी हेल्थ स्पैन भी है. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच एवरीबॉडी. गुड नाइट. स्टे सेफ. थैंक यू.